Okay, welcome to Comic Book Wednesdays, everybody, a weekly series where we talk about comic books. We're your hosts. I'm Ian.
I'm Al.
And I'm Shane.
If you enjoy our content, please remember to subscribe, like, comment, interact. This week, we read issues by Jonathan Hickman, New Avengers 27, Avengers 39, and New Avengers 28. I apologize for our viewers. I do have slight of an echo right now. Talk to me, guys. What are your thoughts?
Talk to me, Goose.
Well, with 27, just to start us off right away, one of the moments that I did like was this. It was just a little brief panel, and it was they were talking to Thor right before this battle, and he was he just a few subtle sentences where he was like, "I used to be worthy, and then I wasn't." And today we may die, but it's a good day to do it. Let there be lightning and thunder, and like, it kind of seems like he was reclaiming some of his power in that moment. I thought that was interesting to watch.
It was cool. I have to read more of the side stuff with Thor, because he goes and grabs that hammer. But I always thought there was another story where him becoming worthy again, and it was I don't know. Like we talked about, there's a lot of side things with Marvel that happens that things may not even make sense because you're not seeing them in your story, and this is one of those things for me.
Yeah, I get that because I feel like I'm really happy that he had that moment. And in the next panel, where he's fully charged and he looks like he's fully invigorated. I would like to know what happened that made that moment significant to him to wield Mjolnir again.
Right, because he had it on his back the whole time.
Yeah.
You would think
what was Thor wielding before he regained his power from Mjolnir?
Stormbreaker.
Was he? I couldn't remember what he was actually carrying anyway. So.
Yeah, he had an axe.
Yeah.
I don't know. That whole issue to me just feels weird. I don't know if it's the art's change or the fact that we're focusing on that multiversal team, and they feel out of place.
Yeah, no, the art style was really weird, and it went into a completely random direction. They're there to fight these priest characters, and the concept behind them is really cool. Of them being okay, we can speak words, and the right words and the right language makes a spell or whatever. And it was oh, that's really interesting. But I didn't really feel like it was necessary. It didn't feel like it was super connecty to everything that we had been noticing going on.
It does feel really out of place because it seems like this story on Earth is coming to this climax, and it's is this other side story even going to matter?
Mm-hmm.
Unless it ties into what Doom's doing.
Yeah, that I did feel was kind of important.
Yeah, I mean, you have him disappearing with Molecule Man, going to find who's in charge of causing the incursions. Who's causing the multiverse to die preemptively. How about you, Al? What are you thinking about this book?
I thought it was kind of cool, seeing it as far as from the other side. We've been seeing it mostly from the Avengers side and fighting these, not the map makers, but the Black Priests and their forces coming in, and it was interesting seeing it from the Black Priest side and the Avengers coming in at them. was kind of fun, in my opinion.
Oh,
But
I agree. It's also unique to see that like Stephen Strange is now leading them.
yeah, that was definitely an interesting plot twist for me.
Yeah, I was not seeing that coming. Uh,
So it was an all right book. I didn't think it was like super impactful, but we did get to see, like you said, Stephen Strange leading those guys. So
Also, like, why did it take Steven so long to reveal himself? Like, these multiverse Avengers are going all out against his Black Priest, and then he's like, actually, guys, it's me.
hold on.
I have to wonder if that was like, I mean, because I mean, he's just as, conniving kind of, as Tony, but they each do it in their own unique way. So when he was just like, actually, you guys could help me with something, I have to wonder if that entire time, like, if this is going to get revealed later, if he was just like, I'm just watching you guys to see what your power level is, to see what you can handle, what you can't handle, and then when I see that, like, you're good enough for my purpose, then I'll be like, hey, let's help each other.
Interesting. And, like, if they weren't strong enough, he'd probably put them down to do his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fair
That's
point.
that's my guess.
I mean, he is definitely shady, so I wouldn't put it past him, basically. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that
It'll be
plays out.
interesting, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think. I hope the next time we see that aspect, we see more Doom. I want to see where him and Molecule Man are going, and I want to see it sooner than later. I'm just excited. More Doom, the better. Honestly, he's probably my favorite character that we're dealing with right now. Well,
Doom is always good.
Oh yeah. And then flip side of Doom, we have Mr. Fantastic, and he's writing a letter to his daughter. And Al, you were saying before you really liked that.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool how they, it was him telling the story as him writing it to his daughter. I thought that was interesting. It was a cool play for him.
Yeah, and he's like kind of recalling events that we're watching as he's writing to like kind of inspire his letter to Val.
Yeah.
And that's super fascinating in my opinion. There's one thing with comic books is that they like doing that, where they like writing this like side story over top of what you're reading and watching. And what bothers me is like I have a hard time focusing on the story at hand and or focusing on what the side story or the letter tangent is. Like I had a very time following what was being said, and this happens all the time whenever they do these type of things. How'd you feel about that shit?
It was a little bit confusing at first because to be honest, I didn't make the connection that he was writing it to his kid. I thought he was just kind of like monologuing. And as I was reading this, I was like, okay, this makes sense given what I know about him that he would just like start spewing this kind of thing. Like, he's getting ready for some like reveal, but he's also doing all of these things in a very particular way. It wasn't until like onto the third issue where I was like, okay, this is the. I had to reread it, and I was like, okay, this is for his kid. I get it. But it did throw me off a little bit. I mean, the second one I honestly felt like it was a little bit better. And then the third one, you had that big reveal, which was really, I thought it was really interesting. But also like those two issues, it both echoed like a redo almost of Civil War, where except this time Cap is the aggressor, and just watching this like other Avengers team come in, I was like, okay, this is really interesting.
Yeah. I absolutely think it's nuts that he flipped my perspective on everything. Because, like, when we started this, I was totally on Cap's side.
Yeah, and
And,
now you're like, I kind of see Tony's point in this.
and you more side with Reed than you do with Tony, at least in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Well, because Tony's
Hmm.
kind of not really available to side with as of right now.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's also interesting because, like, the whole time you got the feeling that they were going to push this Tony Cap um, conflict, and it didn't become that at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, totally.
Even to the point where they go time traveling and they say, like, "Oh, Tony, this is going to be on you." Like, I don't know, and it's really just not that. It's Reed Richards leading the Illuminati, trying to take down the Cabal at this point, and Cap getting in his way. But I guess that kind of goes to, like, oh, the world is going to end, the world is going to fail because you get involved, Cap, as you try to stop it. And that was kind of the prophecy that Franklin gave him.
Yeah.
I did think it was really interesting that he was reverting to like these kind of tactics, like as he was fighting against the Illuminati and trying to get them to like come out, because he was like, oh yes, this is most certainly a trap, and that's why we have to go. And there was that thing with all of the War Machine drones. We figured out like, okay, that's all being controlled by Rhodey.
Mm-hmm.
And then immediately after that, you see like in another few scenes of him trying to summon like the other Hulk, and the other Hulk was like from the alternate universe. And that Hulk was just like, yeah, no, I really don't want to do this. And he's just like, yeah, but you have to.
Yeah, because you guys enslaved your race or in your Earth or whatever, and now you're gonna pay the price and you're gonna be my slave. And he kind of had him like remote controlled. It
That
was
was really shitty on Cap.
it's
Oh yeah.
it's just a really shitty version of Cap. Like what he's
Like,
doing
it
here.
really, like, I like it even less than the idea of Hydra.
Oh yeah. This guy's blatantly in your face, a dickhead. At least Hydra Cap was
Yeah.
hiding it.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
It is pretty fucked up, honestly. Um, what other part of that? Ooh, there's a scene that I did absolutely love, and I don't hate Carol Danvers, but when she said she was gonna like punch the Hulk's ass in or something, and then she got sent into orbit. Oh shit,
That was pretty funny.
that was great.
I enjoyed that. He's got his hands behind his head. He just looks at her and goes, "Do you feel better?"
Yeah, it's like, oh, Carol's in orbit. It's pretty great. Probably my favorite part of that specific issue. Cap revealed that he had a secret Avengers team. Did either of you take note of all the people on the team of the Secret Avengers?
I do have that saved, actually. Yeah.
Yes. Knew you'd come through.
Pull that up. Yes, we have Captain America, Luke Cage, White Tiger, She-Hulk, Spider-Man, Spectrum, Power Man, and Blue Marvel.
Yes. Now I find it interesting that there is an alternate version of Power Man because Luke Cage is also there. Because that's usually his alias.
Yeah, I saw that. Why?
Oh, I
Why
didn't
was
know
there
that.
two?
I don't know who the other character is, honestly. He's just someone else who took up the mantle.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, fascinating. I do love the character Blue Marvel. I hope he gets introduced shortly into the MCU. I think he'd be awesome. He's got like Superman level strength, but like genius intellect. There are some people that think that he was the physicist or scientist or whatever that Monica Rambeau was referencing in WandaVision, but I guess we'll never know. Unless he shows up in the Marvels movie. He also has Marvel in his name, so
This is true.
kind of cool.
So out of all of the people that are there, I don't like. It looks familiar, but I can't quite place it. Who is White Tiger?
I don't really exactly know White Tiger's background, to be honest. However, I have seen a cartoon that they're in. They are a commonly used character. Just not familiar with them myself. So do a little research on that, actually.
Oh, okay.
How about you, Al? Do you know anything about White Tiger?
Her dad's a thief
No.
of some sort, I think.
More than I know. There we go.
But other than that, not really. No, she's kind of like a B-list character as far as I know. I only know her from that one cartoon too. So,
Yeah. It's like
the Ultimate Spider-Man or whatever it was.
Yeah, so like it's like White Tiger, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Spider-Man are a team that's getting run by for like Phil Coulson for Shield. Yeah.
I mean, it's really kind of like you get more information about Danny Rand and Luke Cage in that. I mean, she's got a talisman that gives her powers or something like that, so it's really not like which her father gave to her or something like that. I don't really know.
Got you. You know more than us.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But again, it's all from that goofy cartoon, so.
It's all right. The Goofy cartoon is now our Bible, and it's our only know.
I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
Nope, it's canon now.
Yeah, it's it. Canon. Everything Al just said is correct. Nobody questioned. Yeah, but it's interesting to see that like Cap pulls this trump card, and then out of nowhere, Sue Storm blocks everybody. Namor comes walking out, and then the reveal of like Black Bolt being there too. And I think that's supposed to be a big deal because he was like supposedly dead, but I'm pretty sure we knew he was alive. So it's not that huge of a reveal for us as readers, at least.
Yeah, like we knew that.
Yeah, but in universe they didn't. I think the Namor one was big though. I guess he like put the tail between his legs and went and asked Reed for
Well,
help.
I mean, he kind of had to after freaking the Doom kind of just like was like, nah, fuck you.
True.
I mean, he had to crawl back to somebody, and you know, who better than to Reed?
Exactly. Yeah. And also, he has a thing for Sue, so.
Yeah. Which is kind of weird because, like, clearly in this storyline, Reed and Sue are still romantically involved.
Oh yeah,
so I
I'm not
don't know
saying
if there's
Sue
anything that's gonna. Yeah, but
Sue
isn't there a
doesn't-
comic that Sue does act on that?
I'm not sure actually. There probably is a one point. There's so many.
So
comics.
I guess he doubly has to put his tail between his legs because he knows he has to work with Reed and be around Sue.
Hmm. I hope in the next issue that we read it actually shows, because I would like to read that conversation to see which one of them that he went to And I mean, he did walk out with Black Bolt, so I mean, for all we know, he could have went to Black Bolt, and then Black Bolt could have, like, gotten everybody else's attention.
True. I'm curious to see that too. So hopefully they do put that forward for us. I wonder how fast things are going to de-escalate. Like, is Cap going to be like, okay, you got me, or is he going to try to escape and like regroup?
I don't see Cap going down that easily.
Yeah, if anything, I feel like he's just gonna run on emotions and like, impulse even more. Because it seemed like when even there was one scene, I forget who he was talking to, but when one of the characters had showed up and he was just like, "Oh no, you betrayed us," and it's like he's very simply drawing these black and white lines all over again when they really didn't need to be there. But it's like when we talked about, I think last week, about how Cap and Tony are both running on ego but in different directions. So I feel like with Cap, and this is just my opinion, I think he's just going to ramp that up by 1,000.
I feel like that's a fair bet. I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. And I think the person you were referring to was Black Widow.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and Widow's basically like, there are no sides at this point, Cap. Like, the world's ending. We need to get this done.
Yeah.
And I mean, we already know from like a previous issue that like the new Avengers that showed up, they want to take down the Cabal. That's the only real reason that they're willing to like work with them, So.
Yeah, it's gonna get interesting, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely. We only have 1, 2, 3 more weeks, and then we get into Secret Wars.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're close. We are really close. So next week, we'll do Avengers 40. We'll do New Avengers 29. And Avengers 41. And
there you go.
Nice.
Be another week closer. Any closing statements or anything?
I think we covered it.
I agree.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
All right, well, thanks everybody for listening. If you're having fun this journey with us, please remember to comment, interact with us, offer us some ideas. We're getting to the end of our Secret Wars run here, so we'd love to hear some comic book ideas. Again, we're your hosts. I'm Ian.
I'm Al.
And I'm Shane.
And this was Comic Book Wednesdays. Okay, everybody, have a good night.
Peace, y'all.